What could a 5-year-old child possibly do after being humiliated before an entire royal court? Most children would cry, some would run away, but one little prince walked into a dark forest determined to meet God Himself. His devotion became so powerful that it shook the heavens, alarmed the gods, and compelled Lord Vishnu to appear before him. This is the extraordinary story of Prince Dhruva, the child whose unwavering faith earned him an eternal place among the stars. Long ago, King Uttanpada ruled his kingdom with justice and wisdom. But despite being a good king, he had one great weakness. He loved his younger queen Suruchi far more than his elder queen Suniti. So great was Suruchi's influence that the king allowed her jealousy to dictate the fate of his own family. At her insistence, Queen Suniti was driven out of the royal palace. She was forced to live in a small cottage outside the palace walls, far removed from the luxury that had once been hers. There she gave birth to a son. His name was Dhruva. Around the same time, Suruchi gave birth to her own son, Uttama. Although the two boys loved each other as brothers, Suruchi could never bear the sight of Dhruva. She wanted only one prince to inherit the throne, her own son. One day, the two young princes were playing inside the palace. When Uttama saw his father seated upon the royal throne, he happily ran forward and climbed into the king's lap. Watching this, little Dhruva smiled and rushed towards his father. He simply wanted the same affection. But before he could climb into the king's lap, Suruchi stepped forward. She seized Dhruva and pulled him away. Her voice echoed through the royal court. You have no right to sit there. Only my son is worthy of the king's lap. If you wish to earn this privilege, then pray to Lord Vishnu so that you may be born as my son in your next life. The words struck the innocent child like an arrow. His eyes filled with tears. He looked towards his father, but the king remained silent. Not a single word escaped his lips. For Dhruva, that silence hurt more than the insult itself. Crying uncontrollably, Dhruva ran to his mother. Suniti gathered her son into her arms and listened as he poured out his grief. When he finished, she did not speak with anger. She did not curse Suruchi, nor did she blame the king. Instead, she gently said, My child, only Lord Vishnu can grant what no one else can. Nothing is impossible for him. Dhruva looked up at his mother. If Lord Vishnu can truly make the impossible possible, then I will find him. Suniti's heart trembled. Her little boy was only 5 years old. Could he survive alone in the wilderness? She pleaded with him to wait until he was older. Dhruva listened quietly, but deep within his heart, his decision had already been made. That night, while the kingdom slept, the little prince walked alone into the unknown. He carried no food, no weapon, no companions, only faith. And that faith would soon change the universe itself. The little prince walked through the darkness, leaving behind the only home he had ever known. The palace walls slowly disappeared behind him. Ahead lay an endless wilderness. The roads were rough and covered with sharp stones. Thick forest stretched as far as the eye could see. Wild animals roamed freely beneath towering trees. Yet Dhruva did not hesitate. His heart carried only one thought: I must find Lord Vishnu. When dawn arrived, Queen Suniti awoke and hurried to her son's bed. It was empty. At first, she searched every corner of the small cottage, then panic overtook her. She rushed outside, calling his name again and again, but there was no answer. She imagined her little boy walking barefoot through thorn-filled forest. She imagined him hungry, frightened, and alone. Every mother's fear filled her heart at once. For a brief moment, she considered asking the king to send soldiers after him. But then she stopped. If her son had truly gone in search of the Lord, who was she to stand in the way? With tears in her eyes, she folded her hands and prayed, O Lord Vishnu, you alone are now my child's protector. Meanwhile, Dhruva continued deeper into the forest. The blazing sun scorched the earth, sharp thorns pierced his feet, heavy rain drenched his clothes, cold winds swept through the trees. Yet the little prince never complained. Every step carried him closer to the one he wished to meet. Days passed. Eventually, he came upon a peaceful ashram, hidden among ancient trees. The air itself seemed calm. Birds sang without fear. Smoke rose gently from sacred trees. There lived seven great sages, the Saptrishis, absorbed in meditation. Dhruva approached them quietly. He bowed low and touched their feet with deep respect. The sages opened their eyes. Before them stood a weary child, dusty from travel, yet shining with remarkable determination. One of the sages gently asked, My child, why have you come to this lonely forest? Dhruva folded his hands. He told them everything, his stepmother's cruel words. He spoke of his father's silence, his mother's faith, and his determination to meet Lord Vishnu. The sages listened without interrupting. When the boy finished, they looked at one another with amazement. Never had they seen such resolve in someone so young. One of them smiled and blessed him. My child, few possess such determination. May the Lord be pleased with your devotion. If your heart remains steady, you shall attain a place greater than anyone has ever known. Those words filled Dhruva with renewed strength. He thanked the sages and continued his journey. As the sun began to set, the forest echoed with beautiful music. It was unlike anything Dhruva had ever heard. The melody was peaceful. It seemed to calm every tree, every bird, and every breeze. Following the sound, Dhruva saw a radiant sage walking along the forest path. In one hand, he carried a graceful veena. His lips sang the glories of Lord Vishnu. His face shone with joy. It was the divine sage Narada. Narada immediately understood who the young traveler was. But before teaching him, he wished to test the strength of the boy's resolve. Looking kindly at Dhruva, Narada said, My child, why wander through such dangerous forest? You are only 5 years old. Return home. Time will heal your sorrow. When you grow older, you may seek the Lord. For a moment, the forest became completely silent. Dhruva folded his hands respectfully, but his voice carried remarkable firmness. Revered sage, you travel the worlds carrying the message of the Lord. If even you ask me to abandon my search, who will guide me? I was born into the family of Kshatriyas. A warrior does not turn back once he has begun his journey. I shall not return until I have found Lord Vishnu. Narada looked into the child's eyes. There was no anger, no pride, no hatred, only unwavering determination. The sage smiled. The fire of devotion already burns within you. He placed his hand gently upon Dhruva's head. My child, the Lord never ignores sincere devotion. Narada then instructed him carefully. Go to the sacred banks of the Yamuna. Bathe in its holy waters. Choose a quiet place beneath a tree. Sit with your mind free from fear. Meditate only upon Lord Vishnu. Chant his holy names with every breath. Do not allow hunger, pain, heat, cold, or fear to disturb your mind. If your devotion remains pure, The Lord Himself will come before you. Every word settled deep within Dhruva's heart. He bowed low before the great sage. Narada blessed him once more before continuing on his own journey. But Narada's work was not yet complete.
And so Dhruva's journey had only just begun. In the next episode, his unwavering determination will be tested in ways no ordinary child could endure. His penance will grow so extraordinary that even the heavens will take notice. If you would like to witness the rest of this remarkable story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next chapter of the story of Dhruva. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.